Hey, this is Brian with King Grizzly, and I wanted to show people how I got a piece of content to show up on page one of Google 3 or 4 times. So the same piece of content shows up on page one of Google multiple times. First, I'll show you the content, and then I'll show you how it's showing up in Google and tell you a bit about how I did it. So I've got this hobby site called ruinyourknees.com. It's just an outdoor lifestyle site that I keep. Um, Frankly, I've neglected it for the last few years, haven't done much with it. I put up a new design recently where I actually killed off a lot of the old keywords and stuff because they were just sort of outdated. And anyway, I put up some new stuff lately, and it doesn't get a ton of traffic, but I've been tinkering a bit. And so I put up this article about a bike, this Cannondale Topstone, and it's just a review. So if we take a look at it, it's pretty straightforward. It's got, a title, an excerpt. I score it. There's some videos you'll notice, YouTube videos. They're not great videos. There's text, some pictures, and that's about it. It's not overly long. But anyway, I'll show you. If we go to Google and I put in the name of the bike and the word review, Cannondale Topstone 105 review, and search. This is in incognito mode. What you'll see is there's a couple results, including Google basically putting in their scraped, stolen stuff. And then we've got my two videos. Here's one and here's one. And then I've got my article. So we got 1, 2, 3 pieces of content. And then depending on what you type, sometimes there's an image carousel down here. So on this page, it looks like we get 3 pieces of content. If I try the name of the bike, Cannondale Topstone 105, we get, Cannondale beats us, then REI, but then here's our video, here's another video. And guess how many videos I made about this? 2. And so then if we keep looking, does my article show up? No, but my picture shows up here in the image carousel. And then here's another picture of mine. So then if I try another variation off of that, Topstone 105 review, let's try that. Our videos are essentially the second thing on the page. And then our article is, third or fourth or something like that. And then if we go down further, once again, they decided not to show the image carousel. So as you can see, depending on what you type, and there's other variations, 3 results, maybe even 4. If I go to SEMrush and we take a look, this phrase Cannondale Topstone 105 review only has a volume of 390, but it's a highly specific search, right? Because it's for a review. You're obviously looking for a review of that bike. If I get rid of the word review, because we did rank for the name of the bike without the word review, I believe the volume goes up quite a bit. So across the variations, as you can see, that article, really gets a lot of coverage on page one. And so how do we do that, right? Nothing really fancy. So, this is the sort of thing we do for most of our projects and our clients. We basically name our images carefully so they're descriptive of what they are, but also they use keywords. We put the keywords in the title, right? So there's the title. If you look at my URL, I've got Cannondale Topstone 105 review up there. I mean, this is stuff we were doing like almost a decade ago, right? The name's here. It's just basic SEO. I think part of the secret is these YouTube videos. So YouTube, last I knew, was the second biggest search engine behind Google, and it's owned by Google. So if you adopt more than one Google platform and then embed the video on the page, that doesn't hurt. Seems like Google rewards people for that. You can also keyword your YouTube videos. This is why we teach clients, it's crucial these days to be creating video and potentially audio, like in the form of podcasts, possibly. And then the way we name our images, if I were to inspect this element, let's see, what do we name that one? Cannondale Topstone 105 test ride. So we put in keywords in our images. And then I guess the final thing we do besides some of these basics is we put in something called schema markup. And that's a little more complex, but it's essentially, it's just code that goes into the markup that really helps the search understand, what's on the page. So then you can get a rich result like this here, where it has the rating. Since we use schema markup, we trained the search engine essentially to understand our content a little better. So it actually says my score here on the page. So there's maybe a little more to it, but honestly, maybe not a lot. And so it has become quite difficult to do organic SEO in a lot of ways, just because the top results are often sort of cannibalized by Google itself. And so it's harder and harder for organizations and businesses to just sort of get their content onto page one. But as you can see, it's still possible. And also with some sort of niche combinations, you can still do quite well. And so that video, like if we go over to YouTube, it's been viewed almost 23,000 times. And I don't know, a few months maybe. I posted it in April, and I'm making this video in mid-August of 2020. So I don't know, 3 or 4 months. Anyway, thought that might be interesting to people. Obviously, we're happy to consult if you have questions for your project, but I just wanted to encourage people that you still can rank content, and it doesn't have to be overly complex. It just sort of depends on the level of competition and your willingness to actually invest in creating content such as video to go along with the website, because the website itself doesn't matter how nice it is if it's not using any keywords or content that people are actually looking for. It's hard to drive traffic outside of, say, paid ads. Anyway, hopefully this was interesting. Thanks.